What up, everybody? It's your boy, Sek the King, up in this motherfucker, man. We gonna keep the stories going tonight, man. If you ain't checked out my other two videos, go check out my other two videos below this. Me and the homie at the time pulled a switcheroo, and my busted baby got pregnant by her weed man, twice. Anyways, man, hit that subscribe button below so you can be the first to know and help the channel grow. Now, everybody's always asking me, man, about German stories, like my Germany stories. I got a whole lot of them shits. So if you haven't already, scroll down my page and watch all my stories, Germany stories. I'm about to make a playlist, man, of all the different shit that people hit me up to make videos on, right? My observational opinions, my life year entertainment stories, Germany stories, single nigga meals, STK eats, all the other kind of game time, all the segments of shit that I give you, man. This is a channel of variety, man. I do this shit for y'all, man. You feel me? I'm not a nigga. I'm not a YouTube nigga. I'm a nigga on YouTube, man. I just sit here and kick shit with y'all. You feel me? Anyways, man. Yes. So I'm going to give y'all a treat tonight. I'm going to give y'all 4 stories in one. You feel me? Yes, sir. I'm going to give y'all 4 different stories about African bitches in Germany in one video. You feel me? I'm trying not to make this one too long. Anyways, you fucking with me? You rocking with me? Okay, yeah. So anyways, man, where do I start? Where do I start? Let's start with just a regular ass story, right? So I remember kicking it with this off-brand nigga named Rush, man. And I call him an off-brand nigga because, like, he used to act hella down like he always wanted to kick it and shit like that, but really he was secretly in love with another chick. And mind you, this is when I'm in the army, and he in the army too, but he was secretly in love with, I forget her name. Anyways, mind you, they're still married, so it worked out, you know what I'm saying? But Rush used to try to act like he was on me and my bro D's level, like, because me and D used to get it in, man. Check out some of these Germany stories. I'm sure D is involved in all of them damn near, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, this just happened to be a night. I don't know what D was doing. Maybe he was kicking it with his girlfriend at the time. But me and Rush ended up in Frankfurt, Germany, man. We in Frankfurt, Germany, right? I think we was trying to go, our plan was to go to the red light or something, but we ended up going to a bar or whatever, and we ended up meeting some African bitches. Now, we went to the bar to pregame, you know what I'm saying? Before we was gonna go over here and go to the red light and find us some bitches to fuck, you feel me? But we ended up coming up on 2 African chicks. Now, I don't remember which country that these African chicks were from, but they were African, you know what I mean? So I remember his bitch was like, shit, we can all go back to my place and kick it. I'm like, shit, let's go. Like, let's get it. Now, mind you, this is my first time kicking it with Rush like that because, man, what the fuck was his girl's name? He was in love with this chick. He ended up marrying her. They still together. They all about God now. So, hey, praise them. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, but he wasn't about that life, man. Like, the first chick, you know what I'm saying, that he got into a relationship with, he ended up marrying her. They still married, like I said, so it worked out. Hey, shout out to y'all. No disrespect to y'all. I'm glad that y'all made it through because a lot of people didn't. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so me and Rush take these 2 African chicks back to his chick house. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't his chick. It was just the chick that he was talking to. So I remember she had like these bitches was staying in like a studio apartment. Like the bitch I'm talking to slept on like a pull-out couch bed, and then the other bitch had like a bed next to the couch. You know what I'm saying? Like if this was the couch bed, she had a bed going like this way. You know what I mean? Like a fucking, not even a twin size, just like a single, like a little kid bed size. You feel me? So anyways, longer story short, you know what I mean? We get back over there. We watching the movie. The lights is off and everything, and I look over and Rush is already tagging this bitch. He already tagging this bitch. So me and the bitch, we laying on the couch sideways, you know, like the little couch bed sideways. So we look over. I'm laughing and shit. She laughing, but mind you, my dick is hard as a motherfucker. And she been rubbing on that shit the whole time. But this goofy ass bitch gonna tell me, I got a boyfriend. He's in the Air Force. And I'm just thinking to myself, bitch, you out of pocket as fuck. Like, you talked to me the whole night. We over here, you rubbing on my dick. You know my dick is hard as a brick right now. And these motherfuckers is going at it. Mind you, his girl got a boyfriend too, because the bitch told me, she was like, she got a boyfriend too. They're both in the Air Force. I'm like, So who cares? Like, where's he at now? She was like, she told me he's somewhere, you know what I mean? But I'm like, he not here, you know what I mean? Mind you, I'm feeling on her pussy. Her pussy's hella wet, you know what I mean? Cause she had got on like some little ass shorts, you feel me? So I'm feeling on her pussy and shit. Her shit hella wet, bro. Her shit is dummy wet. So I'm like, man, like I'm trying to fuck, you know what I'm saying? And so these niggas is going at it though. Like we ain't even in the room, you know what I'm saying? Mind you, we all been drinking and shit. So anyways, so longer story short, man, I pulled my dick out, you know what I mean? She started feeling on my shit. She was like, ugh, you nasty. She was like, you so nasty. I was like, shit, man, your pussy's wet. Like, what's up? She just put my dick in her pussy. Mind you, I ain't had no condom or nothing, nigga. So I'm just beating this shit. I didn't even, man, I don't know what I was thinking about, but I'm beating her shit, nigga. I'm tagging her shit, you know what I'm saying? These niggas done stopped, but I'm starting to go. I'm tagging her shit, you know what I mean? Longer story short, man, I pulled that bitch out and I shot that shit everywhere on her. She had to get up to the bathroom and go do her thing, you know what I mean? But right after that, I'm like, man, you know that Lil Wayne song? Like, how's that shit go? It's like soon as I come to my senses and I will see these hoes' name, but then I will be, bro, it was like one of them moments. As soon as I busted my nut, I was ready to go, bro. Like, I'm like, and I looked at her, she's like, man, you ready to go? I'm like, man, I'm ready to go too. Like, so we ended up, before the bitch could even come out the bathroom, I was already dressed and everything, like ready to go. We called a taxi and we rode a taxi all the way back from Frankfurt to Hanau, man. So, yeah, never seen them bitches again. You know what I'm saying? That was one story with these bitches, right? One story with African girls, right? So let me think about another African. Okay, so let me tell you about this other bitch named Martha that I used to fuck with. This African bitch name was Martha, right? And I don't mean to be calling bitches and all that other shit for some of y'all politically correct people. Hey man, I say nigga and I say bitch like one and the same, man. So I don't mean no disrespect to none of these females watching this shit, but hey man, a bitch is a bitch, you feel me? But anyway, so I used to fuck with this bitch named Martha Hella Tough, right? So she was from Tanzania. Martha was from Tanzania, and she had like 3 sisters, but she looked better than all her sisters. This bitch used to wear some long ass cornrows. She had like some long ass hair, some good hair too. She was light skinned, and she was from Tanzania. And I remember I used to call her like little Alicia Keys. This is when Alicia Keys first came out, right? So this happens to take place in like 2001 or sometime like that, right? So I used to call her Alicia Keys because Alicia Keys used to braid her hair and shit, and she was light skinned. So when I seen this bitch in the club, that's the first thing that she reminded me of was Alicia Keys. So I snatched on her, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what's up? You know what I mean? And she was on me too from the first night. Went home with her. And I remember too, the first time I went home with her, like we in the kitchen, we went back to her crib. Her sisters is all still trying to party. And I'm just like, man, I'm trying to fuck. Like, why did I even come home with all these females? You know what I'm saying? So anyways, she kicked her sisters out. And it went down, you know what I'm saying? And so I planned on leaving the bitch alone after that, you know what I mean? But because I already had a wife, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, hey, I'm an open book, man. I ain't gonna sit here and act like a saint, like I wasn't like I was just a perfect angel in my marriage. Maybe one day I'll do a story of why my marriage failed, man. I've been thinking about doing one of those, you know what I mean? And a lot of that shit happened to do with me. But this is like one of the girls that my ex-wife even knows about, and I'll get to that in a second. Out of all the shit I was doing, she don't know shit probably still to this day unless she watches my YouTube, but she acts like she does. But anyways, that's a whole nother story, man. So anyways, so I remember I used to go over this bitch Martha house all the time, right? And this bitch had one English movie, and it was like Mel Gibson movie, The Maverick. I think that's what it was called. It was like some old Western movie where they was on a train and some shit like that, bro. But anyways, I just remember that about her house, right? So anyways, longer story short, man, one day the bitch starts acting funny. She's like, hey, come over to my house. I'm like, why? She was like, you should come over to my house. I'm like, bro, I'll come fuck with you another day. She was like, no, you should come over to my house right now. I need to talk to you. So I'm like, why this bitch want me to come talk to her. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, let me backtrack a little bit. Now, mind you, one time I was fucking Martha and she had these long ass nails and she scratched the fuck out of my back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like she scratched the fuck out of my back. And I remember my ex-wife seen that shit and it was undeniable, bruh. And I made up some story about how we was wrestling in the office one day and I got my back scratched. But, you know, she ended up finding out later what happened. Because like I said, this is one of the bitch that she knew about. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, so she was like, come to my house. So I'm like, all right. But I was telling my bro D, I'm like, hey, man, this bitch is up to something. So pull up and like just had a thing ready. Like just in case I get up there and there's some niggas up there or something like that. Like something seems fishy about this shit, right? So I get up there, you know what I'm saying? I knock on the door. She lets me in, but she's on the phone, you know what I mean? So I'm sitting down, you know what I mean? I'm like, what does this bitch got to talk about? So I hear her talking, but I'm like, who the fuck is she talking to? And she's like, yeah, he's right here. You know what I mean? And I'm like, who you telling I'm right here? You know what I'm saying? She's like, you want to talk to him? I'm like, who are you talking to? She was like, it's your wife. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? She was like, yeah, it's your wife. Your wife is on the phone. Now, what happened is my ex, this is before, we had cell phones, right? But this is before you could put a lock code on your phone and do all the other sneaky shit that you can do on a cell phone, right? So I guess one day while I was taking a shower, my ex-wife went through my phone and she seen this bitch phone number because, mind you, me and my ex-wife, we used to argue so much that the army split us up. So half the time that we was even married, I would be staying in the barracks and she would be staying in housing. You know what I'm saying? So when I stayed in the barracks, I was just doing my thing. I didn't give a fuck because they had a order saying that we weren't allowed to talk to each other for a certain period of time. It was like for months, you know what I mean? And that's how I ended up getting into trouble behind my ex-wife, is because I was over there trying to get away from the situation, knowing I wasn't supposed to be over there when we was fighting, and the cops will end up getting called, and then that's how they found out that I was over there breaking a fucking command from the army saying that I wasn't supposed to be talking to my own wife anyways, right? So she's like, so anyways, she got the phone number or whatever, and I guess they had a whole little plan to catch me, right? It would have been better if my ex-wife just showed up at her motherfucking house, you know what I mean? If they wanted to be some players about the shit, that's what they should have did, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bruh, she's like, yeah, your wife want to talk to you. I'm like, bruh, hang up the fucking phone, bruh. And I know this bitch can hear me. I'm like, hang up the fucking phone. So I was like, here, give me the phone. I'll talk to her. As soon as you talk to her, I just hung up the fucking phone and I threw the fucking phone back at her. I'm like, bruh, this what you call me over here for? Bitch, don't ever call me over here no more, bitch. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I get up and I go to walk out. She's like, Chris, please, no, please don't leave. I'm sorry. She called me and she was doing all this and I didn't want to be no part of it. I'm like, you are a part of it, bro. Why are you answering the phone and trying to get me cut up? She's like, no, I'm sorry. Longer story short, I beat her shit down that night again and then I bounced. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but me and Martha still stay friends. Like, throughout the years, I stopped fucking with her after that, but because I was like, nah, I can't trust this bitch no more. So anyways, but me and Martha still stay friends. Like, the bitch probably still on my Facebook as a friend, you know what I'm saying? Because she was a cool ass bitch. It's just, after she did that shit, I was like, nah, what are you gonna try next when you get in your feelings? Because the bitch would always get in her feelings. Like, I'd fuck with the bitch, and then she'd see me in the club with another bitch and she would be trying to fight the bitch and shit. I'm just like, bruh, I'm not your man. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that was the story of Martha from Tanzania, man. Cool chick, but had to leave her alone. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so, okay, let me see how many other stories I got about African chicks, man. Okay, so here goes another story, right? So one day, me and my bro D is in Black Sounds, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, all my Germany stories, damn near D is somewhere around, you feel me? So anyway, so me and D is in Black Sounds. Now this is the first night that they opened up ladies' night. It was on a Thursday, you know what I mean? And mind you, I'm out the army at this time. So this had to be like 2004. Matter of fact, this was like December of 2004, and I remember that shit, and I'll tell you why. So this was like December of 2004, right? It's a Thursday, and they had just opened Black Sounds on a Thursday for ladies' night. That was the first night, right? So me and D go to the club. It's kind of dead, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody used to go to Black Sounds on Saturday, Millennium Friday, Black Sounds Saturday, but since they opened it this first time on a Thursday, not too many people showed up. Now afterwards, like, it was cracking. Like, like months and months after that, you know what I mean? But I remember this night in particular, right? And I'll tell you why. Because there used to be this bartender named Natasha, right? And I used to always try to get at Natasha. Like Natasha was like a German and black chick, you know what I'm saying? And she had short hair. She had a fat ass though, you know what I mean? And she had some nice little titties, but she had a fat ass and she was so cute. And like, she was just the cutest little bitch, like damn near in that bitch, but she was a bartender, right? So I used to try to spit at Natasha all the fucking time. And she would be like, I see you in here with so many bitches, like, I am not fucking with you, you know what I'm saying? Like all the times I ever try to holler at Natasha, So on this particular night, I remember this because it was that Thursday, the ladies' night, and this is why I remember this story, right? Now I'm gonna get into the African bitches in a second. But I remember this night, and it was a December because this was the night that Natasha gave me her phone number. And she was like, okay, you can call me, you know what I'm saying? But mind you, like I said, the club was kind of dead. So I had all night to holler at Natasha. And niggas used to always try to holler at Natasha. And this is another reason why I liked her. Because she would always turn down niggas. And I never heard of a nigga fucking with Natasha. Now, all these other hoes in the club that used to be there all the time, I knew every nigga who fucked him if me and the homies if one of us didn't fuck him, you know what I mean? So I could never take a lot of them bitches serious. Plus I had a bitch anyway, but at this point, me and my wife is split up, you know what I'm saying? We like damn near over with, you know what I mean? So I remember this because Natasha gave me her phone number because like I said, the club was dead. So I had all action at the bitch the whole night, you know what I mean? So I'm talking to her the whole night. But I remember D saying, hey man, I got these 2 African bitches. I'm like, right there? He's like, yeah, I look over. I'm like, okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's like, hey, like, you don't even got to talk to him. Like, we're going to go home with them. I'm like, all right, bet. You know what I'm saying? If he said something like that, it was on. I didn't even have to go over there and put in no work or spit no game or nothing. I already knew it was on. So I didn't even talk to these bitches the whole night, mind you. You know what I'm saying? So I remember, because I'm in Natasha face, I got action at her and no other niggas is coming up talking to her and she giving me like some play. So finally, Natasha gave me her phone number, man. And I remember it was December because me and Natasha started fucking around like the first week of January and we was inseparable for like the next 4 or 5 months. And that ended up going all bad. Maybe I'll tell that story one day of why it went all bad. But the good thing about that story with Natasha is me and Natasha are still good friends till this day. Like, shout out to Natasha. Like, she was a really, really good woman. Still a good woman to this day. You know, the best cook out of any female that I ever fucked with, for sure. But yeah, shout out to Natasha, man. That was a good woman. Still a good woman. And it just didn't work out, man. But shout out to her, right? So anyways, so after I got Natasha's number, I didn't want Natasha seeing me talk to these African bitches because then she was going to be like, see, that's why I didn't want to give you my phone number anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I had to play it real smooth. You know what I mean? So when I seen her go and grab some beers from the back, I just ran up on the African chicks. I'm like, yeah, I introduced myself or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, y'all ready to go? She's like, yeah. So I ran back. I told Natasha bye. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to get up out of here. It's kind of dead up in here. And I was out. But D had already walked away with the African bitches, right? So D's like, man, we got to take these bitches back home. I'm like, where they live at? He's like, man, Frankfurt. I'm like, damn, I got to drive all the way to Frankfurt, nigga. That's like a 30-minute drive. But he like, nigga, they with it. I'm like, all right, bet. You know what I'm saying? So D's in the back with his bitch. I'm in the back, or I'm in the front. I had a Ford Explorer. You know what I'm saying? I got the bitch in the front seat. I'm talking to her all the way to Frankfurt. You know what I'm saying? So mind you, I used to take the train to Frankfurt. This is like one of the times where I'm driving to Frankfurt, but luckily the sun was kind of up. And the bitches didn't stay together. They stayed in 2 different spots. So I dropped D off at him in the chick spot. And he like, man, I'm going to call you when it's time to go. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, shit, I'm gonna go over here to this chick spot and I'm going to do what it do. And then shit, we'll link up whenever we get done. And he's like, all right, bet. So I drop him off. I go over here to the chick house, you know what I'm saying? And when I get there, it's like, nigga, the whole situation was just kind of funny. Like she was sharing, it was a big ass room, but like she had a bed like on this corner and then her roommate had a bed over there in that corner. So the roommate is over there asleep, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't even have a bathroom in there. It was like a open communal bathroom and shit. I'm just like, where the fuck is this bitch staying? In some barracks? Some old ass barracks or something? So I was just already feeling funny about that shit, you know what I'm saying? And the bitch was cute, you know what I'm saying? She had some big titties, a fat ass. Like, hey, that's one thing about them African girls, man. They built, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, so I remember I dogged her shit out. Longer story short, I dogged her shit out. You know what I'm saying? So I go in the bathroom to take off the condom and shit and flush that motherfucker. And I was just thinking while I was in the bathroom and washing my hands and shit, and I'm sobering up now. You know what I mean? I'm like, bruh, it's like one of them little Wayne moments came again. Like, it's like soon as I come to my senses. You know, like I just wanted to be out. I didn't want to go lay up next to this bitch and wait on D for however long. And this bitch roommate, I already done smashed her. She's moaning hella loud, and I know her roommate heard that shit because she was over there starting to toss and turn, and I know she knew what was going on. You know what I mean? So, anyways, so I made up some excuse, and I was like, yeah, I put on my clothes. She's like, where are you going? I was like, man, I just need to put on my clothes. It's cold in here. You know what I'm saying? She was like, because like I said, it was December. She was like, oh, I'll turn on the heat. I'm like, oh, it's okay. I think I left something in the bathroom. So that was my way of just like being out. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, okay. So, nigga, I just act like I was going back to the bathroom and I just bounced. You know what I'm saying? But mind you, I'm trying to call D phone. I text D and I'm calling him. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm done. Like, what's up? He's like, yeah, shit, I'm done too, but shit, I'm kicking it. I'm like, nigga. He's like, but don't leave me, nigga. I'm like, bro, I'm done fucking with the bitch. Like, I'm ready to go. I'm not trying to lay it with her. I'll tell you about it when I get to you. He's like, all right, bro. So D's like, shit, meet me outside. You remember how to get here? I'm like, yeah, I think so. So, nigga, I'm driving around, bro. Like, they stay like damn near close to each other. But like I said, I don't know Frankfurt like that. So I'm driving around. I'm like, bro, where does this bitch live at? Mind you, I was already kind of drunk when I was driving around and I don't really remember. So finally I found the street, right? It was like a Burger King that was over there. And I remembered that. I was like, oh, Burger King's right here. Let me bust his left on this street. And it's like a little building. So now, mind you, I'd been driving around for like 30 or 40 minutes trying to find this shit. So right when I get there, D's coming out, you know what I'm saying? But this bitch had left her phone in my car. So I remember when I was driving around trying to talk to D like to get the directions, I was like, bro, this bitch phone is in my car. But I was like, bro, I'm gonna just keep this bitch phone. And then I think D was like, nah, don't do that. I was like, bro, tell your girl to come downstairs. I'm gonna give her her friend's phone so we can be out. Like, I don't even want to fuck with this bitch. Like, nigga, I'll tell you about her living situation in a second. So soon as I remember, soon as D and his girl came, like, I'm looking at them come down, and all I hear is boom, 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 boom on my passenger window. And I look over, and it's this bitch that I just left, bro. She took a taxi all the way to it. Because, mind you, I'm driving around for 30, 40 minutes. So at some point, she got the hint, like, this nigga ain't coming back. But she didn't have her phone, and I didn't know that at the time. So this bitch was banging on my window. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? She's like, you trying to steal my phone? I'm like, bitch, I ain't trying to steal your fucking phone. Like, mind you, at this time, this is like 2004. There's these cheap ass phones. What the fuck do I want to steal your phone for? Bitch, at the time, I had 3 phones. You know what I'm saying? So I remember I rolled down the window and I just chucked her fucking phone at her and it hit her like on the side of her head. You know what I'm saying? And then D came and got in the car and she over there going across the street to her friend talking hella shit. I'm like, bitch, fuck you, bitch. Because she thinking that I'm trying to steal her phone or something. I'm like, bitch, I already fucked anyway. Get the fuck out of here. So D hopped in the car and he's the only person that really knows how to get back to Hanow anyway, right? So D get in the car and we just laughing about that shit. Like, I told him the story about this bitch living situation. He was like, yeah, man, this bitch was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was going to chill. I was like, bro, I had to get the fuck up out of there. Like, it was not cracking. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, man. So that's another story about some, and I never seen them. We never seen them bitches ever again. You know what I mean? So, okay. So, all right. This video's already at 23 minutes, man. I'm gonna tell y'all one last story, man, and about some African chicks. I probably could tell y'all more, but this one right here, bro, this was like a fucking infamous story. This was like an urban legend with all the homies because I had this shit on tape, right? So me and D, we gotta be in we was in Wiesbaden, nigga. We was in Wiesbaden at the Park Cafe. I think that's what it was called. The Park Cafe. It was cracking on a Sunday. I think it was a Sunday night, right? So we never used to go to the spot, but every now and then we would go. I mean, D would go to the spot, but every now and then I would go with him, right? So we go to the Park Cafe. I think that's what that shit was called, right? So we pulled 2 African bitches out of there. You know what I'm saying? And these bitches is fine. I'm like, hell yeah, but we can't take them to their spot because they ain't got no like living situation. But at the time, me and D had our own apartment. So this is like 2005, right? So me and D got our own crib. We both out the army at this time. We had the bachelor crib, nigga. Like, we had the bachelor crib, nigga. It used to go down at the bachelor crib. I probably still got some tapes of the bachelor crib and the bitches that we used to bring over there and everything. Because like I said, at the time, if y'all listen to some of these other videos, I used to have a camcorder and I used to film everything. Because I used to tell niggas, right? Before YouTube was a thing, I used to tell niggas even back then, like, bro, one day I'm gonna have somewhere to put these shits like on a DVD or something. I'm gonna make a DVD and we just gonna have like a whole Germany DVD. And one day we gonna be able to put these shits on the internet. And I was thinking like that, but here we go, years later, YouTube, right? So I used to film all kind of shit. And I still got a lot of these tapes, right, that I'm talking about. So I remember we pulled them hoes, the African bitches, from the Park Cafe, and we drove all the way from Wiesbaden back to Hanau. That's like a 30, 45-minute drive, right? If you've been to Germany, you already know, right? So we get back, you know what I'm saying? We kicking at the house, we smoking joints, we popping bottle. I think we had stole like some cases of Clicquot champagne, nigga. That's a whole nother story. But we had cases of Clicquot champagne, and I think we was drinking that shit that night, you know. So these bitches is kicking it. We popping champagne, smoking joints or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So D goes in the room with his bitch and he getting to it. So I'm like, what's up? You know what I mean? And my bitch started acting funny. Like, now mind you, the whole time we in the club, she with the shits. The whole time on the way home, I'm talking to her and everything. She with the shits. We get over there, her friend and me and D, we all kicking it. She's acting like she's with the shits. So when it came time to fuck, I'm like, shit, let's go in the room. She was like, no, I'm just gonna go to sleep right here. So I was like, shit, I'm gonna go to sleep next to you. She was like, nah, you can go in the room. I'm like, thinking to myself, bitch, this is my house. Like, bitch, you can get out. But I ain't act like that, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, I'm too much of a player, right? But something did happen here in a second, right? So, you know, I'm not the type of nigga that's gonna be acting all mad about a bitch that ain't trying to give me no pussy. Yeah, I was mad, but you know, the bitch was just acting funny, so I was like, whatever, bitch. It's hella early in the morning by this time anyway. I'm going to lay in my motherfucking bed that's comfortable as fuck. You can sit here on this motherfucking leather couch. I'm not giving you no blanket, bitch. Hey, get it how you live, you feel me? So I left the bitch in the living room and I went to sleep, nigga. So I wake up the next day, right? So, but I could hear D smashing that bitch the whole night. And I'm just thinking to myself, man, this bitch, her friend gonna come all the way over here just to not give up no pussy. Like, bitch, you're a lame ass bitch. You know what I mean? Bitch, you could have stayed home and D could have went to her house or just brought her home. But anyway, longer story short, man. So D come in the room the next day and he was like, hey man. He was like, bro, I woke up, this bitch is over here playing with my gun. I'm like, what? He like, yeah, man. He was like, man, I'm starting to curse this bitch out. He's like, man, let's take these bitches back home. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, man, fuck these hoes. And he was like, what happened last night? I was like, man, that bitch didn't even want to give up no pussy. He was like, what? I'm like, bro. He was like, she was acting like she was with it. I'm like, bro, you tell me, nigga. Like, but I ain't tripping. Like, it's whatever. He was like, nah, bro. He was like, man, that bitch didn't want to give you no pussy. And this bitch is over here going through my shit. Because to play with his gun, she had to go through some of his stuff. That's what he was really mad about. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, man, this bitch is over here going through my shit while I'm in the bathroom. He's like, this bitch didn't want to give you no pussy. He's like, this is what we gonna do. I was like, what should we do? He was like, hey, man, we gonna act like we taking these bitches home. And we just gonna take them to the train station and just drop their ass off. You know what I'm saying? But mind you, these bitches was already telling us, like, you sure you gonna take us home? Because we don't got no money to ride the train back. We like, yeah, bro, we got you. This is before all this shit happened, right? We like, yeah, bro, we got you. We wouldn't do y'all like that. You know what I'm saying? So they like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? We'll go home with you. And we was gonna take them all the way home. Mind you, I didn't feel like driving a bitch all the way back to Wiesbaden the next day, but I was like, shit, she give me some pussy. The least I could do is drive her all the way back home. You know what I'm saying? So D was like, nah, bro, we gonna pull up to the back of the train station and just kick these hoes out, you know what I'm saying? But they ain't gonna have no idea about it. We gonna act like it's all good, you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, bet. So, and he was like, let's tape this shit. I'm like, all right, bet. So I got the camcorder ready, right? So we put the camcorder like on the windshield, right? We tape it. Now, mind you, we used to laugh. We used to watch all the tapes and shit back in the day with the homies when we would get bored. But this one was funny as fuck, right? Because in the beginning of the tape, like you see us all in the car, we kicking out, bumping that little John Hello Tough, you know what I'm saying? And these bitches is back in the getting crunk in the back seat, you know what I'm saying? They thinking they gonna get a ride home, right? So all of a sudden you see me just pull up to the back of the train station. Now the back of the train station, you had to walk like damn near half a mile to get to the main part of the train station, right? So it's all on tape, right? So you know, they getting all crunk, and then all of a sudden I just pull off somewhere and they like, where we at? I'm like, hey, get the fuck out the car. They like, huh? I'm like, get the fuck out the car. And that's what I'm telling the bitch. And I lift the seat up and I roll it up, you know what I'm saying? And these girl says something. He was like, bitch, get the fuck out the car. You know what I'm saying? We're like, man, get the fuck out the car. And it's all on tape. Like we just, the mood just went from A to roo, like really quick, like 0 to 100 real quick. You know what I'm saying? And and them bitches started talking shit. So we like, bitch, get the fuck out of here. Mind you, they don't got no money for the train. They already told us that shit. And they had to walk like damn near a half a fucking mile to get to the main train station. And I'm filming them the whole time like, bitch, get the fuck out of here, you stupid ass bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like I'm telling y'all the story, but if y'all could watch this shit on tape, like we had it on tape, bro, that shit was so fucking hilarious because they had no clue of what was gonna happen next. And they were just having a good ass time in the car. You know what I mean? And bro, we used to watch that tape over and over and over with the homies. All the homies used to be like, when new homies would come over there and see the tape, Mikey and them used to be like, hey, bro, show them the tape, show them the tape. You know what I'm saying? And that shit was like an urban legend for hella long, man. But yeah, that's 4 stories in one about African bitches in Germany, man. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot more life stories coming. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you can be the first to know and help the channel grow. Sorry this video was so long, man, but hey, if you got a good laugh out of any of them stories, hey, man, cool. That's all that matters, man. It's your boy, Saggy King, and I'm out.